Yo, what's good people? I'm Eddie and this is my Achilles heel tendon update. Yeah, it's been quite a long time since I've actually released one of these videos. If I last remember, it was around a month when I released an update. Just to remind you, if you're seeing this video, I ruptured my Achilles tendon in April, around the end of April, and I've been having sort of a hard time with, recovering and healing my Achilles tendon. And having an Achilles tendon injury is like pretty much one of the worst injuries you can get, but you do learn a lot. It is a long process. It will take up to around a year, maybe even longer, but you might be able to shorten it with good preparation, training and physiotherapy work. And it's best to align yourself with a lot of information you can get online, or a lot of information you can get from doctors, physiotherapists, or even personal trainers. It's been 3 weeks since I've taken the last wedge out of my boot, and since I've actually, literally discarded my boot and changed into my trainers or my shoes. It hasn't been sunshines and rainbows, I have to say. Having this injury, obviously you take walking on the street for granted, but when you're actually out of that boot, the feeling is quite good. But obviously there's still implications with my Achilles. So the first implication is that my Achilles is so tight when I walk that it feels so uncomfortable, and the way the limp itself is I might as well be in a boot, because people do kind of look and wonder, what's wrong with this guy? What happened to his leg? But after a bit you get over that, you get over people looking and watching. And really and truly, people don't really care too much, they're busy living their life, so, but the trouble is, obviously I'm limping when I walk, and the limp is pretty tight. Like the limp is pretty painful as well at times. Walking up hills or uneven ground is it becomes a bit of a chore sometimes. You kind of need to slow down the tempo, and the walk does look quite sinister at times as well, especially if you're it's just looking normal in general. It looks quite artificial. But obviously with time, I spoke to my doctor last week on Tuesday, and he said it's only natural that you're walking, you'll be limping. The reason for the limp apparently is basically the scar tissue. So basically with my leg, my scar is healing really well, quite well, but there's a point in my leg, the lowest part in my leg, basically is the scar tissue. So scar tissue is a big thing when you have Achilles heel injury. It kind of is there to prevent you from doing any irregular movements, and it's there to kind of repair your leg in general. But scar tissue can be really irritating, really annoying because you can't move naturally, you can't move how you moved before. But with time, with your physiotherapist, they're meant to lead you through the process and help you to kind of break down that scar tissue and start moving more naturally. With me, like I've mentioned before, I haven't really done any physiotherapy work with any PT. I haven't had any advice on how to exercise the leg too well, apart from just they printed out a sheet of telling me certain exercises to do. So obviously my scar tissue is still there, and I'm in a battle with scar tissue. Okay, so basically what happened, I was on my bed clearing some stuff off my bed, and with my bed, if you lean to one side, literally it will tip over. So I had literally one knee on the bed, one leg slightly hanging off, and the bed obviously tipped over, and I landed on my bad leg. Looking back at it, it was kind of stupid to do, but I think it was actually a blessing in disguise in general, because basically what happened was I felt like a slight tear in my leg, and I was thinking, oh shit, did I rupture it again? I was praying in my head, because it's been quite a long time, as I told you before, it's been since April, so we're in October now, so that's a lot of months in general. That's almost half a year. Basically, I felt a tear in my leg, and it felt like as if inside internally in my leg something was bleeding, and I didn't feel that something was right. So I gave it some time, kind of calmed myself down. Then I got up just to see what damage I did, and I don't think I actually did any damage in general, but my leg felt more freer. It felt more natural when I was walking. It felt more comfortable, which was a really good sign. But in my head I was thinking, what the hell happened? Then I realised that, yeah, it must be scar tissue, because the scar tissue is there, obviously, like I said before, to prevent you from doing anything. It's protecting your leg from, it's healing your leg and protecting you from walking in a certain way. But once I think I made that tear, it actually improved my mobility. So come to think of it, like I said before, if I didn't do any physiotherapy, then obviously I haven't been progressing my leg and breaking that scar tissue down in the right way. So in me actually, with that impact of me landing onto the ground, it was sort of like a certain exercise. It actually, broke down that scar tissue. And now since I've been walking, it's been much more easier, much more comfortable, and I have to say it's a little blessing in disguise. And it's kind of taught me that I actually need to, get on top of exercising the leg much more often and frequently. Which takes me on to hip alignment. So obviously that's been another big problem with my physiology and walking in general. Obviously with my left side is okay, it's normal. I didn't do anything wrong with my left side. But with my right leg, obviously with the Achilles heel and having a boot on, it's actually kind of changed the rhythm of my walk and the way my hips move. So actually, even looking at my body in the mirror, I've seen that this normal hip, this side of my hip is okay, but this hip is kind of sticking a bit forward. So the way I walk is a bit different as well, and it kind of contributes with the limp as well and the tightness of my leg. So my right leg just feels all messed up and fucked up. But obviously, speaking to the doctor, he says when you're resting, when you have this injury, because I was resting, I was in basically the cast, and I was literally bringing up my leg like so. I had it in the same position. Also walking in the boot, walking on uneven ground. Walking unevenly, it does, your muscles adapt to certain movements you do. So, with time, it'll probably, regress back. It will adapt back to its natural movement. With that fall, I don't really have too much problems. But like I said before, it's been 3 weeks, and I haven't seen no improvement in my hip alignment. And I've actually talked to some physios as well. They said with time it'll get back to what it was before. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a problem, and I don't know what to think about that. But I'll obviously give you my updates on it with time, and I don't think it's too much of a problem if you go through this situation. Your solution you can do is if you're in a boot, an air cast boot, you can basically get an even up side which goes on the other leg to even kind of the length of your legs. So with that, you're walking, your hips is not uneven. So one hip isn't kind of lifted, and the other hip is normal. It will kind of even up the level, so your hip you walk in a more natural way. So that's definitely a good thing for you to get, and I definitely 100% recommend it. Obviously I've had to learn the hard way, but try not to let your body adapt. Try to kind of create the circumstances and the correct movements for as much as possible for your leg to help your rehabilitation. So that will definitely help. But apart from that, things have been good really. I've been able to, just be more active, been able to, just do simple things, going to the shop, going out with friends, depending on what you do, you should be able to go back to work relatively quite quick. But because of my profession, I need to always be on my feet, walking about. I've taken more of a longer time to, you know, be out of work and just help to really focus on healing and recovering myself. So it's been an interesting journey, but if you've got any questions or anything, just put it down into the comments. I'll definitely answer back. I'll answer back to all the messages and queries that you have, so feel free to do that. Also share your story. What week are you on? You know, are you in a boot? Are you in a cast? Yeah, let me know. And please like this video as well. The more you like it, the more people see it, and you know, the more information you can get. And just pretty much, it's better to see an experience of someone that's had it, you know, just to see that progression is good. You know what I mean? So yeah. So yeah, I'll be releasing another video hopefully next week. Also, I'm traveling next month as well, so be sure to see my vlogs. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna have a good time and that. And yeah, just hope to see you once again. Peace, man. Take it easy. Take it easy with your Achilles injuries.